Donkey Kong Bananza released July 2025, exclusive on Switch 2 obviously, and this was Nintendo's big release game for the Switch 2. Well, sort of. Still don't know 100% why they decided to release this game a month after the launch of the Switch 2 in June. Whether it was so they could push more Mario Kart numbers, or maybe there was a genuine delay in development and it wasn't ready in time for the Switch 2 launch. Either way, this was the big game for the Switch 2 on launch. This is the one everyone was waiting for. It was pretty ballsy by Nintendo to release their first big 3D platformer on the new console as a Donkey Kong game, a franchise that has been hit and miss for them in the past, instead of sticking to Mario, the tried and true, trusted flagship game or franchise for Nintendo. This game is made by the Mario Odyssey team, which really shows a lot in its core structure, I guess. It does also borrow a lot from the Zelda, like the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdoms games, in terms of like some of its mechanics, how you can climb just about on any non-slippery surface and get shrine-inspired puzzle rooms, I guess. But yeah, look, it paid off. It was ballsy, but this game is fantastic. I guess the key thing that makes it unique is its destructible terrain, which is phenomenal. It just feels so good just being able to wreck just about anything in the game is destroyable. I haven't really seen like this level of destruction in a game since like Red Faction Gorilla. Going back that far, it is a lot of fun to play.
Getting into gameplay and mechanics, so we already touched on the core mechanic of the game being its level destruction. Just want to talk about though, like it's so much more than just destroying everything. Like it just feels so good. Everything has like a unique feel and sound to it. Like punching dirt feels different to punching rock or steel. It's just such a level to detail, which is amazing. Even walking on snow, for example, has a completely distinct different sound from walking on metal or dirt or mud kind of thing. It's fantastic attention to detail by the devs. There is a lot more than just destroying everything though. So it is your traditional 3D platformer. Lots of puzzles, collectibles. So you've got your like Zelda, Breath of the Wild inspired like puzzle rooms. You've got your battle rooms, open world puzzles. Just all the main stuff you'd expect in a big 3D platformer like this. One of the core mechanics that, other than the destruction, is the new Bananza forms. These essentially give DK the ability to transform into different animal forms once you unlock each one. So these are a lot of fun. So you have like the Kong one, which is basically like your big monkey. It's like base DK but more powerful, can smash through stuff. Good for combat. You got your zebra, which is really fast. You can zoom around really fast with the zebra, run over like crumbling bridges and stuff without collapsing them. You have your ostrich. Ostrich is really good for mobility. It can not really fly, more like glide, but still very, very good for getting around. Then you've got your elephant. Elephant is probably one of the best ones. Probably my favorite one actually. Hasn't got great mobility, but it can basically suck up any terrain in your path, whether that's just rock, dirt, even lava. You can also store chunks of terrain in your trunk and then pop them out as a projectile. You can throw enemies. Lots of fun. Final one is the snake. The snake's okay. Probably least favorite out of all of them. So the snake can jump super high, it has like a super jump, and it has this ability where it can slow down time. Problem with the snake is its movement. Like you're not walking like the others, you can't do the roll, he kind of just like hops along. It's weird and awkward to use. also just looks weird. It has arms, like the snake has the Donkey Kong arms still. Like seeing a snake with these big gorilla arms, something about it just looks wrong. The combat in the game is decent. Yeah, look, it feels good, like the way you can punch enemies and they'll go flying into other enemies. Feels good. It is very easy, I guess. I guess probably one of the letdowns of the game, I say letdown, but is the bosses. The bosses are way too easy. No spoilers, but outside of the final boss, the rest of the bosses are a joke in terms of difficulty. Like, some of them, like, I beat in a matter of seconds, like 10 seconds, especially if you use the Bananza forms, you just plow through them. Yeah, look, it's a little bit of a letdown, like they're a little bit too easy. I don't care about like the game being easy overall, like not every game has to be difficult. The bosses were just, yeah, they should have at least had the bosses be a little bit harder, especially because the last boss is quite hard. So like there's no like build up to that. It's like everything before that is just easy. Then the last boss is like the only real challenge. In terms of graphics and performance, the game does run at 60 FPS pretty much most of the time. There can be frame drops, especially during like heavier scenes or boss fights. Not really a big deal for me, to be honest. With like what this game does, it's amazing they got it running at all. Like, yeah, when it comes to Switch games, especially ones as ambitious as this, I can forgive the occasional frame drop. It's not a huge deal breaker for me. One thing I was a bit disappointed in was there's no like realistic physics in terms of like if you smash out the bottom of something, the whole thing doesn't come crashing down. Look, not that I really expected that. It's just, yeah, the game would probably break the game. I don't think they could implement that. Maybe on the Switch 3. I guess the only other issue I can find performance-wise is sometimes the camera, especially when you're digging a tunnel underground or something. It can be really janky, really hard to see what you're doing. Yeah, not really sure how they can fix that. Just part of, yeah, destructible terrain and stuff. Sometimes the camera janks out. The story in DK Bananza is very light-hearted, if not strange. Like, you'd probably sound crazy explaining this storyline to someone who like knows nothing about Donkey Kong or Mario or games in general. So the game starts with DK and he's on this mining colony with all these other monkeys, and they mine for bananas, or banandium gems they call them, which they use for energy. Then these other monkeys come from Voidco, led by their leader Void Kong, and they steal all the bananas and push Ingot Island underground. After this happens, Donkey Kong finds this rock with the ability to talk called Odd Rock. Once you go on to the next layer, you speak to the first animal elder, and the rock's restored to its true form. A little girl called Pauline. Yeah, that Pauline. Don't know how that works. I'd say don't think about it too hard. It is implied that she may be the granddaughter of the original Pauline, but no one cares about the canon of the Donkey Kong timeline. Just better not to think about it. Anyway, the Elder instructs Donkey Kong and Pauline that they should seek the planet's core, as it has a mysterious power to grant a wish. Pauline wishes to go home, and Donkey Kong wishes for more bananas, because the hundreds and hundreds you find throughout the game are not enough to satisfy this gorilla. As you progress through like the different layers, heading to the planet's cores, Donkey Kong and Pauline do generally form like a heartwarming bond. Like at the start of the game, Pauline, who wants to be a singer, she's too anxious and nervous to perform in front of people. gradually as you go on and on, collect the Bananza powers, which I didn't mention before. The Bananza powers are basically Pauline's power. Her singing is what transforms Donkey Kong, but she grows in confidence as you go. Each one you collect, you see her confidence get a little bit more up there until at the very end. I think the last one, she actually tells Donkey Kong to give her a beat, and she leads the song, having grown in confidence throughout the game. And DK, he forms a bond as, I guess, her protector. You can tell he wants to protect her. Later in the game, something happens and goes out her way to save her. But yeah, that's all I'll get into the story. There is a few twists, and man, it goes a long time actually. It goes way longer than I thought. There was like parts of the game where I was like, alright, this is the end, and it kept going. And I was like, this is the end, and it kept going again. Like a decent sized game. In terms of the characters, it's Pauline's the only one who can talk. She's the only one who speaks English. Everyone else just speaks animal language, including the elders. But yeah, like there's not too much depth to the other characters outside of DK, Pauline. You got your main villains. You got Void Kong and his henchmen, who are forgettable, I guess. I think Cranky and I forget the girl's name. Yeah, I can't remember the girl's name. I remember she's a really easy boss fight though. So your levels are broken up into layers. I think there's like 17 main layers overall. A lot of them have like sub-layers to it. So like I think first layer is, for example, the main one you go to is Lagoon layer, and it like comes up like layer 100, and then there'll be like a sub-layer, level 101, sub-layer level 102, etc. But yeah, level design and the layers, pretty good. Each one was unique. Each had like its own theme. I loved how a lot of them combined like multiple things. They weren't just one-dimensional. Like the freezer layer, obviously it's an ice layer, but it's also a lava layer as well. So you have like the ice and the fire. And then like the way they interact with each other is awesome. Like a lot of the terrain in this game will like interact with another type of terrain. So if you throw like a chunk of ice at lava, it'll put that out. And yeah, there's a lot of cool interactions like that with terrain. Really good to mess around with. As of like the other layers, I think my favorite layer was the feast layer, which is like this food amusement park, which is awesome. Probably one of the better ones. The levels are paced, like the level design, like the layers are paced out quite well as well. You'll have like a big layer, so like one with sub layers, and then the next layer, like main layer you'll go to after that is like a more chill, like relaxed type of one, which is really cool. Like in terms of game design, it's like, well, that last layer was crazy, hey, let's have a bit of a break and you just have this chill layer where you explore. Main examples of them, I think there was like a beach layer. That was a real cool chill one. It was like, again, it was like not just one-dimensional though, like it was a beach and fruit layer, so you could smash through like giant watermelons and stuff. It was really cool. In terms of like exploration, like while you're going through the layers, they're just packed full of stuff. Like the main collectibles you'll be getting would be the bananas, which are used to level up your skill tree. So every 5 bananas you collect will give you 1 skill point, and that can be used to level up DK's skill tree. Ranges from like your Bananza powers can be leveled up, or just like your punches, how much damage they do from terrain, health, all that sort of stuff. Second main thing would probably be the fossils. Each layer has like unique fossils, which can be used to purchase skins and clothes for DK and Pauline, which is really fun. I always love collecting skins and costumes in games. And then your third thing would be the Banandium chips, which isn't really as important. Basically, you can trade when you get 100 Banandium chips, you can trade them in for 1 banana. So I think like overall, I think there's 700 and something bananas you can find in the game, and then you can also use Banandium chips and trade them in for more bananas. By the end of the game, you'll max out your skill tree if you, I wouldn't say actively go looking for all bananas, but if you're gonna do 100%, you'll max out your skill tree for sure. And there's tons of other like puzzles and stuff to do where you explore. Like I mentioned earlier, you have like your puzzle rooms, your Breath of the Wild shrines type of things. Some of them, like all the puzzles are generally pretty easy. I guess like the shrines type things, like they're the hardest. Not really. Like you go in them and there's 3 bananas to find. 2 are usually pretty simple, and then the third usually requires a bit of work. You scratch your head for a few seconds and then you'll work it out. Other than that, there's some open world stuff that is pretty fun puzzle wise. I think my favourite is the hide and seek fractones. These little like blue crystal NPCs that are throughout the game. They're pretty cool. You can destroy them as well. You can smash them to pieces. They just reform straight away. But it is also fun to do.
I forgot to talk about the maps. So there's a beautiful 3D rendered map which accurately reflects the current state of the terrain as well. So it'll show like what's been destroyed. Really cool, really gorgeous map. The map's also used to warp around to checkpoints and layers, which can be used to get back to previous points if you're going after all them collectibles and such.
Sound and music. I spoke a little bit earlier on the distinct sounds when you hit something or walk on something. Like the sound effects are just top tier, I reckon. Like the attention to detail is fantastic. In terms of like music, like all the layers have like a distinct atmosphere. The Bananza tracks are great, like real catchy. They'll get stuck in your head for days. My personal favourite probably being either Ostrich or Zebra. You can also collect records. When you defeat enemies, there's a chance to drop a record. That's probably the one thing I haven't 100%ed in these games. Each one you can like play at a settlement or your little getaways. They even have the DK rap. Unfortunately, not the full version, just part of it. And a lot of other cool callbacks with classic DK tracks, which were pretty fun to find. Getting into replayability and value. Definitely a lot of value in this game. Like I said, it's a big game. Went a lot longer than I thought. Tons and tons of collectibles to find if you want to 100% it. I think my first playthrough, 100%ing, collecting all the bananas, all the fossils, took me around 80 hours. You could definitely do it much faster than that, but I was just having fun. Sometimes I'd get distracted and just go on random destruction sprees, just punching stuff, and yeah. No, it was good. Definitely replayability value as well. I have played through twice now, and definitely a game I'll go back to in the future. Getting into pros and cons, I'll start with the pros, and there's lots of pros really. I won't list all of them. The platform is excellent. The destructible environment is just amazing. It feels so good. The attention to detail with sound cues, how each terrain has a different field to smash into. Visually, it's gorgeous, especially on dock mode. Tons and tons of replayability and value with all the collectibles. If you're going 100% this game, you're definitely getting your money's worth. Cons, I guess you can put in the occasional frame dips. Not a big deal for me. The camera janking out. This is how much of a con it is. I completely forgot about it until now. There is a co-op mode, which is really not great. You can have someone play as Pauline with the Joy-Con mouse controller, and she can like shout stuff to destroy terrain and damage enemies. It's I wouldn't even call it a co-op mode. It definitely seems like it's made for like a parent to play with the child, not a fully fleshed out co-op mode at all. And finally, I guess the bosses. The bosses were far too easy. Except for the last boss, there needed to be like a bigger curve, I guess. Like the enemies and the normal fights, fair enough, and like you could have a lot of the early game bosses easy, but they should have got harder and harder building up to that last boss. But again, that's okay. Games don't always have to be hard as long as they're fun, and this game was a hell of a lot of fun. So overall, the risk for Nintendo to make Donkey Kong their flagship game to launch the Nintendo Switch 2 paid off. It was a triumphant return for the franchise. It was ambitious, it was bold, it was creative, and it showcased the potential of the new Switch 2 with its new hardware. While it's not perfect, but it was a lot of fun. I don't think this game will beat the likes of Clara Obscura Expedition 33 or Silk Song for Game of the Year, but it definitely deserves to be up there in contention, like top 5. I don't think it will win, but it should be nominated. Overall, I would give Donkey Kong Bananza a score of 8.5 out of 10.